We start out on this new road. No turning back. But we have our ancestors with us. We're gonna continue to dance with them. Dreaming them. Calling them. Being them. We are becoming what we were.
It is part of that Mayan prophecies.
7 triangles of light.
Keep walking. You are the spirit of Unapku. Keep walking. We the human, we are doing the spirit of Unapku.
People who say that the gods made them from corn. They planned their lives according to the heavens. Well versed in astronomy, using a sophisticated mathematics, they calculated the movements of the night sky thousands of years into the past and thousands of years into the future. They knew that the universe moved in cycles. Their lives were ruled by the rhythms of the natural world, planting and harvesting, birth and death, just as the great tree of life emerges from the earth.
Always they're connected. Science and religion.
In dreams, we learn from the Maya gods when to plant and when to harvest, when to set a fire, and when to do the corn ceremony.
What we're digging up, what we're coming up with is part of our history. And the men that lived here are some of the greatest men we've ever had. And it's a fact that we're getting to know more and more and more about the life of these people.
They still maintain their customs, they still maintain their ways of organizing their societies. And it's very exciting to see how much of the ancient Maya way of life is still alive as well.
Because American history does not begin in 1492 with Columbus. It begins in 200 BC with the first Maya king who wrote his name on a stone. What is happening now is the people who made these places, people like Yashpak or Bird Jaguar or Pakal, are getting back their voices. They are becoming real to us and speaking to the people of the 20th century about who built this place and why and what they felt and what they thought about the world. These are not anonymous people anymore.
You are the spirit of Unapku. Keep walking. We the human, we are doing the spirit of Unapku.
Issued by Pope Nicholas V, which gave colonizing Europeans permission directly from God to, quote, capture, vanquish, and subdue the enemies of Christ, to put them into perpetual slavery, and to take all their possessions.
It seems like the trail of tears never ends. The harder the light, the darker the skin. When did this begin? The greed of evil men who happen to have white pale skin. Write down the laws, create the constitutions. We the people, just a pimped out illusion. A trickery of words that deceive the lost herds. But ancient are my people, let us send my word. Cause the gods of time, they write my rhymes. They keep my heart divine so I can see between the lines. The stars are the sign that travel space and time. You can never own my spirit, you will never own my mind.
Descend from my place in the stars. Half Gonzal, half Jack, on my lyrics hit hard. Half Gonzal, half Jack, on my lyrics hit hard. Lyrics hit hard. Lyrics hit hard. Half Gonzal, half Jack, on my lyrics hit hard.
You see the spirits in the wind have a deal with men to never hurt the earth and to always defend the elders, the children. Sacred is the flower that we call our women. The power of creation, the seventh generation, the carriers of light. They suffered so much through a 500-year night. Raping Spaniards, pedophile priests, manifest destiny, mark of the beast. We seem to have forgotten the Spanish Inquisition when they murdered fucking millions in the name of their religion. Another modern day rendition, but a vaccine inquisition, ran by billionaire elites and corrupt politicians. These are the seeds of white supremacy, white superiority over colored majorities. Doctrine of discovery, 1493.
Ghost of the ancient set in the sage set. Ghost of the ancient set in the sage set. Ghost of the ancient set in the sage set. Ghost of the ancient set in the sage set. Broke into the Vatican, strangled the Pope with a rosary. Broke into the Vatican, strangled the Pope with a
Go around that way because you'll sit there.
LA natives.
Yo, we're
Check 1 2.
on community. LA natives. Zero of El Vuh, Armando, Underground Hip Hop Blog, and our very special guest today, Eptos, Uno from Mexico City,
Very
right?
special guest.
Hey, I'm from Sonora. I was born in Sonora, but yeah, I live over there in Mexico City.
That's where you stay. Okay, cool. Right on. One of the dopest Spanish-speaking hip-hop artists that I've heard in a while, because it's not easy to, like, you didn't have that same style as, like, you know, sometimes from Mexico is a certain style that comes from it, like a flavor. It's kind of like coming from Texas, an accent that you have. And when I heard of the hip-hop stuff coming from Mexico City, it had that accent, like, but you were the only one that kind of distinguished yourself from that. It still had elements of it, you know, like a certain delivery, but yours stood out in a professional way, you know. And starting to talk to you when I first got here, I couldn't understand why, you know, how many albums you put out and where you're at. But I'm just giving you my plain opinion of Eptos because, you know, I consider him one of a really talented individual. And if he's 7 albums deep, when he gets to 10, 11, 12, you're going to see some masterpieces. So this is my homie Eptos. Introduce yourself, brother. This is
All right,
Native.
thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it, bro. Shout out to Underground Hip Hop. They always been supporting me, and it's really nice to be here. I'm loving this whole thing you got going on, the smoke and everything. Yeah, bro. Well,
Yo, Eptos, you know, it's an honor to have you on this podcast, brother.
Oh, thank you, bro.
For real, because he's talented.
I started rapping in English because I used to live over there in Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's where I used to go to middle school and high school over there. So I used to be deep into graffiti and stuff. So over there, like, my graffiti homies, they introduced me to the underground hip hop scene, rhyme sayers, dilated people.
Oh, nice.
Because before that, I only knew like Nas, Wu-Tang, Snoop, you know.
The commercial.
Yeah, the commercial
version of it.
Yeah, but then I started listening to underground, and I mixed the both, you know. So that's where I originally.
Although, you know, if you really think back to the era that we just explained, like Snoop and Nas, those brothers were really talented.
Yeah.
Hip hop.
Definitely.
I mean, their lyricism was like
Top notch,
you couldn't imagine. It's like a pro, like, you know, seeing like Leonardo da Vinci rap.
Exactly. Yeah,
that
when
was
I heard
our
Nas, when I heard Jizza, that was it for me. You know, like that's the type of shit I love. So I used to go to Obregón. That's my city over there in Sonora. So every summer I used to go over there, and fools from over there used to give me like Spanish rap, Mexican rap. So I used to take it over there to Phoenix. So I used to study, and just that's how I got into Spanish rap. So when I was like 16, I went back to live over there in Sonora. So that's where I started like doing my rap in Spanish and stuff.
Nice. Yeah, cool. And developing your own style and versions. And what have you? So you've won certain rap battles, right? And you are a signed artist. Explain that road. How did that happen?
Yeah, I was always into battling since I was living over here in the States. Like, I used to see people battle and stuff. I used to have homies that did it, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do that someday. So I started just doing it just with my homies. Then when I was over there in Mexico, like, I had some friends that did it, and we used to see videos from this competition that was called Batalla de los Gallos. So right there, like, people was like battling to see who was the number one Spanish freestyler. So I could only see it like from the internet. They had it in Spain, they had it in Puerto Rico. So I don't know, we're like the years passed by, and they brought that competition to Mexico.
Oh wow!
Yeah, to
How
Mexico.
old were you?
I was like 20.
20.
Yeah, I'm 33 right now.
And you started rhyming. So you were 4 years into rhyming.
Yeah.
And that competition comes to Mexico.
So I was, you know what, I need to go. So I went over there, and I just got to the semifinals. So I had to go back home. So, but I was like, nah. I didn't know anybody, because you could not study your opponents or nothing, because they didn't have no. It wasn't when YouTube was already starting, 2007. So I just went over there. And
So it was pure skill. Like, you really had to, like, New York battle. Like, you know, back in the days in New York, it wasn't about like, oh, let me study you for 3 months and figure out topics and learn how to write to that.
And best believe there are all these Spanish battle scenes. Like, you always have to bring your A game. I appreciate the Spanish rap scene more than the English rap battle scene, dude.
I think, you know, over here we have access to tools. You know what I mean? Over there, you don't. Over there, it's like, who has a phone? Here's the battle. This is our batalla in the barrio or whatever. And then it grows, and then people start coming. And then that's what I love about Mexico, bro. I love Mexico. Mexico to me is like, obviously it's motherland, you know? And the energy, the ideas, and the artists that come from Mexico, to me, impact whatever scene they're in, you know? It's like, because even when I did a song with Rocco from Maldita, it's like, man, that you can walk around the city with that guy, and it's like another level of, you know.
You're showing mad love, huh?
Yeah, mad love. Mad love. Like, the brother's like, mad, like John Lennon kind of thing. It was weird, because I was in a car, we were leaving the Zócalo, and the people started, I've never experienced that kind of like, come on, just talk to us, and they're like shaking the car, like almost tipping it. And so he rolls down the window. He's like, hey, you know, he's the nicest guy. He's like, hey, come on. He's like, I gotta go to another show, but if I had the time, you know me, I'll come out. I'll say hi to you. He taught me so much just looking at him and how he handles his responsibility. That's cool. I love it, because people from Mexico City carry that innately.
Yeah, they show mad love. Like, a lot of my fan base, they're from the city, you know.
Yeah.
So I've been living there like for 10 years. So after 2006, in 2007, I went to that contest, and then I won. So that's when I dropped my first album, I was like, now is the time, you know, to drop my first shit. So that was like Venganza de los Traumas. That was like my Illmatic over there, you know.
Nice.
People loved it, and
who produced it?
I produced it. I had a couple beats from another homies, but I did everything, like the mixing, the producing and everything. But I didn't have no knowledge. It was crazy, because I used to work back in the day with the program.
I've never worked with Cool Edit. Like, my first program that I worked with was Pro Tools. Like, you see, like, we have a different, we have access to tools. Like, if you save your money, you can buy that tool. Over there, I'm sure that Pro Tools Digio 1 was probably like $3,000.
No, nobody had Pro Tools over there back in the day. They had like these underground programs you had to download from the internet.
Or GarageBand or something like that, right?
Shit like that, yeah. So I did it like that, but my homie taught me like how to mix it, and it sounded properly.
Within Edit, you mixed?
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. And so it had like EQ plugins and compression and stuff like that.
Compression, reverb, all that shit.
Oh, good. Well, you know, I like hearing stories about artists that it's not easy to just walk in a studio and then go, okay, yeah, I rhyming. You have to know each element. You have to know a little bit of engineering. You have to know how to tell the engineer, hey, punch me back in here. Punch me back in. Punch me back in is a studio term. If you don't know, you learn that when you're doing this album on a software that's not really meant to do an album. It's like probably like an idea kind of a software versus a professional software, which is like, and even in those levels, there's like Pro Tools Digio 1, and then there's the main one, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But the beauty of creating that, yeah, that was dope.
Yeah, I've learned it with time, like, you know, but back then it was like my first mic, you know, my first computer, so I just started.
What kind of mic did you have?
It was an Audio Technica.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, those are dope. The square one,
the black one.
Okay.
Like, yeah, those are dope to this day. Like I've been seeing people work with those.
Yeah, Audio Technica always had like a range of sound. So when you put the mic in a certain like distance, their design of the microphone is that way. I had to, like I said, when I put together Jaguar Prophecies, I read engineering books while I was writing that album. So I'm feeling your vibe. Like I'm figuring out how to make this album because I just won this contest, right? For me, it's like I have an amazing idea about this group. I need to learn how to, because no one's going to give me money. I go, I got an idea. Can you record me? No, it's like you got to do it all, which means putting your dream into action. So how hard was it? Was it frustrating to work with that?
No, not really. I was doing it before that, you know. I was already like doing songs or whatever, but I was already stacking up songs to make that
Through
album.
that software.
Yeah. So
through those conditions is what I mean, yeah.
So yeah, I've been doing it for a minute, so it wasn't really hard to do it. But yeah, as time passed by, like I started to, you know, learn more about mixing, engineering, and just delegating to people so you get a better sound, you know. I don't like to limit myself to what I only can do, so that's what I do now. But yeah, it was pretty dope to have done it like from zero, like to mix it and just put it out like that.
Right, or to figure out like what software am I going to use? Like that's a whole different.
Yeah, I just dropped like 2 years ago, or like a year ago, I dropped a special version or remaster of that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And how did you record that version? Did you take the sound files and then put it into a different mixer and like that way?
Yeah, I had a guy do it. Like today,
Nice.
I sent the masters to this guy, and he would just.
And was it the sound quality? Was it
Yeah.
massively, dramatically different, or was it still in the same category?
It was different. It was more bright a little bit. I liked it.
Was it heavier, like thicker?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's what you get when you get more, you know.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started playing music, we used to hang out with older musicians, right? And one of those guys cut me, puts his hand on my shoulder. He's like, Ruben, it's like, always buy the best guitar, always buy the best amp, always buy the best anything, because if you sound like shit, at least it'll sound like the best. You know what I mean? So it's like that always stuck with me, man. And so I've always living in the U.S., being from here, working hard and getting those tools and applying those tools. That's the name of being an independent artist.
But as you know, Zero, to make a name for yourself locally, you have to, you know, grab that mic and perform as many shows as you can, right?
Absolutely.
That being said, out in Mexico, you know, what's the big differences between, you know, being able to book a little dive bar, or, you know, a place that has a stage and a sound system? Like, what's the availability ratio compared to out here, you know, where seems like people are only accustomed to performing at venues, right? So is there a difference over there in Mexico when it comes to how many spots you could rock at?
Oh, no.
Especially on the come up, you know, because you remember when you were on the come up, you had to rock, right? You had to perform in front of people, but where were the places that you started performing at?
Well, the first place I got to perform at, it was like a show that I wasn't able to start doing more shows and everything. So that was over there in Estado de Mexico. But now there's a lot of venues over there. Like what people do over there is like you don't even sometimes there's not even a stage, but people will go to any bar and just make a deal with the guy from the bar.
Yeah.
And have that food, just keep the drinks, and you'll get all the door. That's mostly how all deals go over there.
Oh, okay.
Wow, crazy.
So it's a lot loose over there.
Yeah.
Compared to over here. You
I
know?
toured there once, and I got a tour manager through Rocco. Like, he gave me like some lady's floor. She's pretty famous, like taking it, and she booked a bar just like he said. Like, it was just a bar, and we didn't know anybody was gonna show up, you know, in Mexico City until we saw this one car. It's a blue Geo. It had 9 dudes in it. It's like boom, 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 and they're all looking at me and Victor going, "You guys are from El Vuh? Like, what the fuck? No way, you fucking guy! I can't believe you're in Mexico." That's the type of fans that are there, dude. Like, 9 dudes come out of this car, and a fucking dog. And a dog. I swear to God, 9 dudes were in that car and a fucking dog. That's fucking experience. Because it was just like he said, it was just a small little PA. We were trying to figure out how we're going to hook up the DJ.
Are there as many rappers out there, Eptos, compared out here in LA? Like, it seems, I don't know, in the lifestyle that I live, dude, this rappers fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
There's about 20 rappers that are running around in this building by themselves. Like, how's the scene out there?
Hey, there is a lot, but there's not as many. I don't think there's not as many as over here.
Right? Yeah. Then that's a good thing, right?
They still have a lot of fans over there, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I just think that in Mexico, you have to be good. You can't not just be okay. Over here, you can, because you got the publicist, or you got somebody that could put you in a position where, like I said, hitting those numbers, like we were talking about your videos hitting 1 million, and then, you know, pushing that energy to a website that sells shirts, and your message is powerful enough to sell that shirt, then you're doing okay.
Yeah.
You know,
I just trip out, dog, the scene out there. You know, me and Zero talk, like, we see a lot of the shows that you rocked, you know, at those big stages, and there's like fucking thousands of people out there for rap battles and shit, right? And I think to myself, like, there's no way in hell that shit could happen out here in the U.S.
Nah.
But why? Why though, right? Like, those, like, because the biggest thing we have out here is probably like King of the Dot, if anything, and they just book like a little club. A couple hundred people fit there, and boom, it's a rap battle. But out there, this is a big difference, right?
It's like 1,000.
Over there, I've seen battles gather over 13,000, bro.
Damn.
Bro.
Like a whole stadium. It's
What
crazy.
the fuck? That's insane for a rap battle, like a cappella.
Freestyle battle.
And it's not even a concert or
The
anything,
biggest
right?
ones are the freestyle battle.
Like on beats, or
beats.
Yeah, really?
Beats. Yeah, but like people from all the Spanish speaking countries go, like a guy from Spain, a guy from Argentina, they all gather up, and those are the biggest ones.
That's so cool, man. That's what I love about Mexico, man. It's
So
like there's no rules.
What's the
over
problem with people out here in the U.S.? I just think it's just too spoiled, right?
No, it's corporate involvement. Like, how is this gonna promote this, or how is that gonna? That doesn't. What are you talking about? 13,000 kids in front of, you know? It's like they don't put it together over here. Over there, it's a promoter, right? A promoter's going, I got so and so, and I could book that venue. Let's do it, and that's the way it happens. It's kind of like the way you do things.
Yeah.
And when you go and book a big artist like Griselda, or you put your money where your mouth is, and so do those rappers. Because guess what? If you fucking suck, they'll let you know that. You know what I mean? The fucking crowd is merciless over there, dude. It's like fucking. It's just another level of, because that's all they have, man. Is this that show?
Also, it's Red Bull. Red Bull is who puts the money for those tournaments.
Oh shit!
Oh, they're gonna put a
So
humongous
they got
stage. And,
so,
yeah.
So they are the ones that book the big ass stadium and take care of everything.
But again, to
They get their money back.
Armando's, Red Bull wouldn't do that here. Never do that in the U.S. Never. That would never happen over there, because over there people, that's their night out. That's like their release. Like they work over there, and fucking Saturday I'm gonna go to this show and I'm gonna fucking just. And that's why if you suck, they're gonna tell you suck. But if you're dope, they're gonna fucking really love you. And I've had that experience.
Right. It just, there's a competitiveness that's like far beyond compared to the U.S. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the battle scene, like when you're battling out there in Mexico, I see these guys as professional athletes.
Dude, they're on another level.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah,
and then cats out here battling. They're just battling and talking shit on each other the whole time. Just it's the usual scheme of things out here, you know. And the crowds are not that big. It's just, you know, his posse versus the other guy's posse. Out there, it's just like there's a general, just GA, general admission people just buying tickets to see people battle.
Yeah, definitely.
I just wish there was a scene out here like that, where thousands of people gather together to see people battle. You know what I'm saying?
That would be a challenge because over there, like a personality in Mexico City is a little different than in the US.
Exactly.
It's just a whole different thing, you know? Like gathering the person from Spain and Argentina and so and putting them in the stadium in Mexico City. The people of Mexico City appreciate that. I don't know if people in the US would.
You're absolutely right.
I just don't think that that's the case for that. But nevertheless, we get to see it because fucking YouTube, and we have artists like Eptos that come to LA and tell us about it, and hopefully we can be involved with. And all you have to do is interject yourself to it. Yeah. You know what I mean? On any level.
They're starting to do it over here in the United States. You know, since there's a lot of Latinos, Mexicanos, and everything, so they're doing like a chapter here of the Batalla de Gallos,
and I'm ready for that right there.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes because, you know, I'm sure they're not going to fill a stadium, or are they?
Nah. I'm sure they're going to do it like more
at a club or, you know. But when you have good marketing people like Red Bull to do it, then, I mean, God, Red Bull has broken so many artists and careers. Just
do you drink
for
Red Bull
them.
Zero?
No, absolutely not. Because I just don't. I use other.
I can admit sometimes here and there I drink the sugar-free version.
Oh. I don't. I've never drank. I've always freaked out on those things, man. Like the ingredients on those things are kind of crazy. But in terms of what Red Bull has contributed to, like, because I know a band called Las Cafeteras, and Red Bull did like this promotional thing with them. But what came out of it was a dope documentary on their band, right? Filmed well, done well, sponsored by Red Bull. I mean, those are the challenges you face on this side of the border. And I'm sure you face them over there, but in a different way, because people will show up to your shows out there. They'll show up. Over here, it's like, oh, man, it's so hard.
Super hit and miss.
They have to really love you. They have to really fucking love you. And that takes a long time to develop here in Los Angeles. How is it growing a crowd in Mexico?
It's hard, bro. Like, I'm not gonna say it's easy, but yeah, like people, you know, like you have to put on a show too, because usually the ones that will always come back are the same ones, you know, like people, how you say the real fans.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've had like mostly like almost 1,000 people. That's the most I've gathered by myself over there. But
nice. That's pretty good. That's like auditorium.
When I did it in the stage, is by the auditorium. It's like a smaller auditorium, so that's where I did it, and that was for the presentation of my last album.
The last album you just put out, which is how long ago?
Probably like 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Yeah. 2018.
Yeah.
Perfect. So you're ready.
Yeah.
Your crowd's ready for like every 2 years when you make your crowd wait another year extra, because usually like, you know, consistently is like every year, right? But when you wait the extra, like they almost have like anxiety about it. You know, it's like, oh damn, like they receive it just a little bit more.
Yeah.
And did you produce this next album?
Yeah, I did actually.
What do you use to produce? Like,
I produce with I use different things. I produce with a Roland MC101. It's like a drum machine device. And I also use Logic, Fruity Loops, turntable.
Okay. So it's a mixture of like sound waves, not necessarily an MPC or an Ensoniq.
The one I have, it's from Roland, and that's where I have my drum samples. And sometimes I just create the beat right there, the drum, add certain elements to it, then I'll just add the rest on the computer and everything.
Some of those older drum machines like have certain sounds that you just cannot find on unless you're good at sampling. Sampling using the MPC. I mean, I was talking to my son who's getting into this, making beats and stuff like that, and I told him, look, the best advice I could give you, because I make beats too, is learn the older units because they only make the software version easier. If you don't know the software version, you're gonna be like, oh, if you don't know the unit, because they're designing the software to mimic this unit. So you have to know the unit before you can go into the software. And if you skip that step, sometimes you get stuck where you're like, what if your computer goes down and computers are expensive and sounds are there. And so I told them, learn how to use the old school shit, not to master it, but you can also chain it up just like you do. You chain up certain sounds, which creates your sound, which is fire. Yeah. It's like old hip hop, boom bap, really early 90s kind of.
Yeah, in my case, it was the opposite. Like I started doing Fruity Loops. Then when I got the machine, I was like, oh shit, this is exactly like it was easier for me to understand it. But I see what you're saying. Like definitely, if you study the MPC or Roland SP, once you get to the software, you understand way better how it works.
Yeah, and but kids are like, you're crazy. I don't want to go that way. It's like, because, the first time I turn on the MPC, for me, I turn it on and there's nothing in it. Like you hit every pad and it doesn't have any sound. You have to tell it and chop it. But then after a while, after the frustration goes away, you start going, oh, wow, this is a cool ass instrument. Look at what I could do. And you start to carve your own sound. That's dope. I always like asking producers how they do it, because not everybody, no one, oh yeah, I use MPC. No, it's like, oh, I did this, that, and the other. And listening to your songs, I would have never guessed that you had a Roland drum machine, and those are the drum sounds that you can.
Yeah. Also, a thing I do, like I will like sample something, then I'll have it recreated by other musicians. So,
okay.
Yeah, so that way it's easier for me to put it out. Like I change it a little bit so it won't be like just stealing it or whatever. But yeah, but I get vibes like that, like vibes from sample, like inspired. That's how I'm doing this album. Like
that's dope.
I start from the sample, make the beat, then I have that shit recreated, and that's how I get like a really original sound.
Nice. I could see how using your the foundation of your idea, then giving it to people who are a little bit more skilled in those areas. Like why do you have to know how the bass needs to, you know what I mean? Like, you know how it should sound, and when he does it right, you're gonna go, yeah, that's it. That's a dope production. That's dope. I give up. That's dope. Because I could see how, like, more recent songs are banging because of that. You can see, Dr. Dre does that a lot.
Yeah,
too.
and that's one of the guys that inspired me to do that. Dr. Dre too, like that sound. So that's I was like, I know we're gonna get a cleaner sound if we do it like this too. So yeah,
working with musicians that understand how to be a musician, because you want that musician to have that freedom to go, look, I see this vibe, and then he gets it, but doesn't play it anything like that vibe. It's still. It has that energy, but it's its own vibe. When you can, and I like to think myself, working with Quinto Sol, the reggae band from Los Angeles, and just countless other really top-notch musicians. They know how to play guitar and bass. Make your productions easy. Like I did a song called Global Pandemic, and it was like simple. Is almost to the same way you made your beat. But I let my homie Robert do it. I didn't do one thing. I didn't sample. He did it all. I was just there going, how about this part? And just kind of guiding it. Yeah. But it feels good to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I could imagine if you hand over your idea to these musicians and stuff like that. So what's the song off this new project? What's the first one, the first single?
Oh, the first single, it was Robar Tu Style. That was the first one I put out. That was my beat too.
Nice.
And then it was Ganas De. That's just more like a party song in the beach, but it's like a really smooth 80s kind of vibe, you know.
Nice.
And I produced that one too, but with the musicians, they recreated my idea and everything.
Nice.
So yeah, that's how I've been working my stuff, like with like just I have a bass player and a guy that does the keys. And we have a Roland Phantom 8, and with that machine, like we look through every sound and just try to.
That's a really dope keyboard.
Look for something really really dope that can match this. That's similar to the sample, or gives like a similar or better vibe, and that's how I've been doing it.
Yeah,
and it's been really fun just to work on the production like that.
To have a team like that, and to have everyone to be on the same page, the cohesiveness is just, that's a dime a dozen, right, Zero?
It's not easy to do. It's like when you get a workflow like that, like the way he's just describing, like to present an idea to an individual who knows and mastered his instrument, is like Dr. Dre. Like, I mean, come on, you're Dr. Dre. Can you play his bass line? And he's a fucking dope ass jazz player. He's like, yeah, I can do it. Oh, I want it to sound like Funkadelic. The thing that I got, the way I produced, was I would go into certain eras of music because of their recording capability, mic. Like, I used to like to sample a lot of Led Zeppelin, a lot of things that were recorded in a certain way to pull out that sound. But I never took 4 bars. I took 1 bar, you know, and sometimes I would chop that up and then, you know, spread it out on the keyboard and create your own sound. But like how your ideas, you're plucking your ideas and giving them to musicians. I was just going, oh, I like that era of music and I want to get that sound. And sometimes it would be, a lot of people would like my organic sound, well, because I was sampling old Mexican folk records that were playing only guitar. There was no drum or bass or electric, anything. It was a mic and that acoustic guitar. And that's how the beat sounds organic, you know, because I didn't use anything that had pickups or bass lines and stuff like that. It's just skills of production.
Yeah.
So going back into the battling tip, like, you've never considered battling, Zero? You know, maybe on the come up, you know, coming up in the scene, does someone ever encourage you to battle or something like that?
Yeah, for 5 seconds, I thought about it. You know, fucking Il Mascaras fucking sends me a fucking bait, like a fucking, let's see if he accepts, you know, because, you know, I don't know, I think I kind of felt like he was studying me. I'm just kidding, but anyways, he's all, hey, brother, I'm doing this battle and these rap battles, and do you want to do it? Like, I'm like, huh? And I just put, huh? And I go, I don't really rap battle, but who would I be battling? I just wanted to know who the fuck I'd be battling. He's like, me. I was like, no, don't ask me. I don't want to do it. I'm cool. I could make a better song or something, but coming up in that way, that's why I give respects to individuals that do come up in that area, because it's not easy. It's not easy. That's not something you want to do. You want to rather make a good song and go, oh, I'm known for making that good song. But to go, all right, I gotta make this other person lose whatever by saying whatever. I remember he talked to me and he's like, dude, I don't like doing it because I put myself in a mental state where everyone around me is bothering me just so that I could start thinking of these rhymes, you know? And that's like a boxer. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, definitely. I've been through that stage. Like, I've battled people like that. Like, like a cappella battles like that. Yeah, and yeah, it's just it's an aggressive mind state, you know, because you're like, oh, I gotta murder this fool. You know, like,
yeah, you're not trying to be nice.
Yeah, I would rather, how you say, I would rather be just like smoking weed, having a good time at the beach, you know, off my music. But sometimes that's the hustle, what they hire you from. So
yeah.
I've been in that mind state. Like, it's, I guess, I don't know. It's dope. It's also dope. Like, I love that culture, you know, the battling. But Yeah, it can be. It's a lot of work. It is. You gotta be. It's a discipline.
I whoever does it, it's like getting, like I said, like training for a boxing match, but word wise, because you don't want to be the one not winning. That's not the guy you want to be. You know what I mean? And sometimes it is that, because who the fuck is gonna win everything? You know, and sometimes it's baited where a lot of their crowd is, you know, let in, and that's what I heard about King of the Dot too, is that, you know, they kind of set up the crowds, you know, and at that point it's like, you know, but when
by the way, we did interview El Mascaraz's long lost brother, Red Cloud, not so long ago.
Red Cloud. Right.
So shout out to El Mascaraz, shout out to Red Cloud.
Yeah, I mean, all that, anybody that comes up on that, man, those guys are far. I give way mad respects to those individuals, because it's not, you don't want to be the guy that walking off the stage that didn't win. And then you've seen that in stadiums style, like.
Yeah, and it's more than just rapping, you know, because when you go in the studio, like, nobody's looking at you. You're comfortable in the booth, just rapping your stuff and laying it down, listening to yourself. But when you're right there, like, the first thing I do is just learn the lyric, then learn how I'm gonna move in the battle, how I'm gonna move my hands.
Wow.
At this certain rhyme, for each rhyme, you gotta have like a hand movement.
Oh,
you know, like
shit!
Everything. So it's like it's a whole.
It's almost like breakdancing.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Sounds like breakdancing.
It kind of is, bro. Because now in a cappella, like, you cannot be standing still. You gotta be like, you know,
animated, pulling guns,
putting the finger gun.
No, I you know, I get into them because they're just entertaining. But, you know, this is the famous one. Right after your line is like boom, because I got you know, it's like the imitation shotgun, boom. But I get what he's saying, because he sets it up, right? He's rhyming, and then he goes, boom.
Yeah, definitely.
But to do it in a stadium, that's a whole nother thing. I personally, when you kind of gave me inspiration to probably, when I'm in Mexico, if I see something advertised in terms of a freestyle rap battle, because they do it over beats, right? That to me is like traditional hip hop, and it's a little bit more difficult than a cappella.
It's with a DJ, that's dope.
Yeah.
My homies, some of them, DJ Sonico as my homie, he's a DJ. He will just spin the records right there on the spot. So that's dope. Like, he was choosing the beats. Right
okay.
Just the old school way.
So you have to, your timing, your cadence, all that stuff has to be on. I get it. That's exciting.
Yeah, he stops the beat right there on the punchline and everything.
That's dope. That's cool to be at that level of. Well, I mean, when you do your battles, you're already familiar with his DJing, right? So that kind of helps. That's a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah.
You know, that's dope. Right on.
Yeah, but the battle culture has been growing and growing over there. Like, there's this guy Asesino, who he's one of the homies. He gets sponsored by Puma. They're putting out his own shoes.
What? From a rap battle?
Yeah.
His own shoe?
He's the champion. Like, he been winning the tournament, the world tournament, like twice, and just a beast, you know. So
I have to mention though, you be rocking those G-Shocks though, right?
Yeah.
Those things are hard, bro.
Yeah, I work with some brands over there, G-Shock, with Nike, with some things, and Roland. They're supporting me too, you know. With
nice.
Equipment to make my music. So
is that how you got the keyboard?
Yeah.
Because that Phantom is expensive.
Yeah.
It's like $4,000.
Yeah.
But like how Eptos mentions, like, Puma's backing up his homie Asesino, right? And we were talking about it, right? Zero, how there's like a wave of a lot of Southern American artists embracing these brands as if it was over here 15, 20 years ago. Because the wave I see here in the U.S. now, it's like everyone rocks their own shit. Like, everyone's on this like independent wave. Like, there's a lot of rappers that I know, you know, like, that I know personally that only rock their shit or like to promote their shit. You know what I'm saying? Do you see that, Eptos? Like, the way you embrace Nike, you know, it probably Nike embraces hip hop more over there.
Yeah, definitely.
Than what Nike does for hip hop over here.
Yeah. They have a department of culture like over there in each country from Nike, so they have to do shit with people from over there, you know.
Right.
That's
What the
music.
fuck?
That's it.
Are you kidding me?
Because like the only thing I hear Nike from out here is like the Little Nas X shoe. As far as I know,
it's just
and no, I'm just being real, right? No, I'm just being real. That's the
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but over there, yeah, they have headquarters from each brand. You know, Timberland, Nike, Reebok, everything. So they are investing on the talent.
yeah. So the Department of Culture out here in the U.S. is probably absolute trash. They're backing up blood shoes.
Travis Scott, that's the only guy that's with him.
Travis Scott, another prime example, right?
I mean, commercialism in the U.S. is different from in third world country. In third world country, they've never had Nikes. So when they get a chance to work for Nikes, they're gonna do whatever the fuck they got, and Nike knows that.
Like
Nike,
I will
fucking knows
never
that.
see West Side Gun in a Nike shirt ever again. That's how I see it. Like you know those dudes, it's all Griselda, it's all Buffalo Kids now. It's they have their own shit.
Well, when you have the outreach that they
Like
have,
for Yours Truly, it's all about Yours Truly.
yeah,
Yeah.
Well, when you have the outreach that you have, and that's what me and Eptos were talking about prior to coming on the podcast, is the bigger outreach you have. If you sign that Nike deal, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Like, you know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, I'm only gonna wear Nike, because you're only gonna get whatever they gave you as compensation, whatever it is, $1 million, $2 million. But the Griselda dudes, they sell their stuff for $50, and they fucking only paid whatever it was to manufacture that and distribute it. It's not as hard. It used to be very hard to distribute your shit. Now, direct to garment machines, your ability, you know how to write an address, right? That's as easy as it is now, because this Amazon culture has taken over, where everybody buys shit off of Amazon, and you just see Amazon trucks everywhere. That's the way it is in the U.S. I don't know if it's in Mexico like that. But Amazon, you go outside, try not to see an Amazon truck. That's how people buy their shit now, And that's why it doesn't make sense for Griselda to sign a $3 million Nike deal when they can make $3 million in a quarter.
Why you mention that? I see a shitload of Amazon trucks driving around.
Yeah, that's the new way of buying things.
How many Amazon trucks do you see in Mexico?
Nah, not a lot, bro.
Yeah, out here they're fucking on every block.
Dude, they're everywhere.
People do use Amazon over there, but not as much.
So then, so tell me then,
not in the hood.
How do you how do you? Okay, so obviously buying merch and doing things like that. What is the best way to buy off of an independent artist like such as you, who lives in Mexico?
The best way is to support me buying my merch. That's what
through the website.
You have your own brand, right?
Yeah.
What is it?
Never Died. That's my brand.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what's the website?
I've been having it. It's neverdied.com, but I'm gonna make a new one right now. I'm working on it.
Oh, okay. So you still haven't revealed your new brand?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I have a whole line. Like I've been putting out designs and shirts and sweaters, hoodies, and everything. But now I'm gonna gather all the designs and clothes I've been doing like for the last 3 years and just make a store with everything and just stock it up.
Nice. Good investment for someone because it used to be so hard back in the day when you used to put out record or any of that, because you had no way of distributing that. You could put it in stores, but to have people go there and make an extra effort to buy that, you have to be really, really on fire, and put out a hit song of some sort that encourages people to go do that extra stuff.
Yeah.
But now with social media and the immediate reaction from a person to go, what, a new song? Okay, cool. They go right away. They go. It's like almost like it's weird. It's different. And that's the era we're in. So the new movida is create your own shirt, make your website. I mean, we've seen results too, right? And on LA Natives alone.
Today we had to ship out 5 CDs, two T-shirts. Small movement, but growing. niche audience, right?
I mean, you couldn't do that before. You
And guys, anyone tuning in, if you guys did support Zero, he just released his new mixtape. If you ordered it, we just put it into the mail. You will be receiving it in a couple of days. Much love and respect to all the people who bought your CD.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Right.
I think as artists, we have to like not follow in the trends of social media, right? Like we were talking about TikTok in itself.
Yeah.
Like on TikTok, you can make these videos and stream from the TikTok platform, which is Spotify, if your song's on there. But imagine creating a movement where you create a record that's never going to be on Spotify. It's never going to, you have to buy it here. And if you really like it, even if you sell 100, that's good. It's a good investment. I mean, back my investment for the recordings and the printing. So, I mean, scaling it down to those numbers eventually get you to larger numbers.
I've thought about that too, about making an app.
Yeah.
Where people can get like exclusive freestyles, songs, and everything for like not a lot of money, but I have mad subscribers on it.
Yeah, like a Patreon.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
but your own shit, like just your music, you know.
That's right. Boogs actually, I forgot to mention, he bought 2 copies, one for him and one for his primo.
Sweet. Thanks,
He
Boogs.
just added that to the chat.
Thanks, brother.
Shout out to Boogs. Shout out to J Mara. Shout out to AV.
Shout out Boogs.
That mixtape is fire, right, Zero? Like, if you guys haven't heard it yet, you guys are in for a treat.
It's crazy how I don't know how Eptos feels about this, but I've had music in my computer for 20 years that I show people today and they think I just made it. They go, "Oh, when did you make that?" It's like, I don't even want to tell them because it's so long ago. And that's what this mixtape was. I wrote this mixtape in 2012. But in 2012, everybody was still happy with Obama and fucking nobody. But then, at 2012, I knew shit was going to change dramatically. So I kept it in the bank. Just kept it in the bank, kept it in the bank. And now I released it. It's so fucking relevant to everything that's happening now. But when you're ahead of your time and you release that music, I don't know, do you feel like you have to hold stuff back for the right time?
Definitely. I've done that before. Like, I have songs that I'm like, nah, you know what? I have to hold this. Even sometimes it's like 3 years, actually.
3 years. Good.
Yeah.
See, that's real art.
When it's a good song, that's when I stash it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You fucking stash it. Yeah. Fucking Eptos.
I mean, it's just knowing when to release it because you don't.
But guys, that's the true definition of an artist. Like when you know you have a good song, you have to stash it, right?
Well, you have to know when to release it, and that's not like the first thought that comes to an artist is, "This is a banger, let's release it." But to have discipline not to release it, I could have put my mixtape and streamed that on Spotify in 2012. Spotify was around. I could have done that. It could have been up there for 8 years for people to understand it. But I release it right now because I'm releasing Global Pandemic. Global Pandemic sounds like that mixtape. So it's just really knowing how to work the art. It's not just, "Oh, look, I made a painting, sell it." No, sometimes like, "Oh, wow, I'm not going to show this one." Like Epto said, I'm going to save this banger because this banger could change my career 2 years from now.
And you know yourself, right? Eptos, no one tells you, "Hey, no, you already know off the bat yourself, right?"
Yeah.
When you produce.
Yeah, like I know when it's a hit, but I also like the way my homies react to it. Like all my homies, that's how I really know. Like, but yeah, bro, like that happened before. I have like several songs just like right there,
good,
waiting to be put out. But
that's a true art.
Yeah, I'm holding them for the future.
Yeah, and it's a gamble too. It's a gamble because you're like, all right, yes, it's a banger, it's a banger. It's like, oh, okay, but right now everything sounds like this, That's why I never really worried about like trap music or what hip hop direction everybody else went, because when you could create music that's original, then it doesn't matter, And I guess that's what you're doing, but in that classic era, right?
Yeah, I make all type of styles, but mostly boom bap. Well, I like to fuck with double tempo too, like fast flows and
Nice.
Yeah, I enjoy that.
Do you like that kind of what's the name of that group, Armando, that's coming out of DJ Muggs camp?
Lord Mob?
Yeah, Lord Mob. Like that one loop kind of song where it's just more of a poem and it's that classic whatever it is.
I like the drumless beats.
Yeah, drumless beats. Yeah. I don't know what they're called. I never. You know where I heard that first time? I heard that with the Ghostface song that he released in like fucking 90. No, it was like 2002. And he released a song that was a drumless beat, and it was the sickest thing I've ever heard. But now I hear people like Lord Mob and. Do you like those type of beats?
I enjoy them sometimes because I'm a digger myself. So I dig for samples. So when it's a dope sample, I can appreciate it. Like I'll be like, oh, because it's the art of finding like some crazy, obscure, rare shit, that works for rap. So
Alpha 60s.
Sometimes I appreciate it, but I cannot listen to a whole album of that. Like
interesting.
I like one song, then I would like drums on the next one.
Yeah.
And if it goes back and forth, I like it. But when it's nothing but samples, the whole I don't know. Sometimes I just need more energy. But they're dope to say shit. Like the voice shines more.
And your art, your lyrics.
Yeah,
like you gotta have really good lyrics to do that type of beat, drumless beat. I want to do that, but I want to do it with Mesoamerican flutes. Use it like that instead of a jazz or old classic, but but a drumless beat that way. So I mean, I've done a couple songs. Kind of Global Pandemic is that way, but not exactly.
It's dope when it's just the sample and some percussion, maybe.
Yeah, that's really cool. Is anything like that coming out of you recent?
No, not really.
The future?
I have some, like in my album, I have the intro is kind of like that. Like it does have drum, it has drums, but they're part of the sample. Like really low drums.
Okay, they're part of the sample.
Yeah, so they're just like background drums I use for the intro, but most of the songs I did use drums and everything.
Nice. Right on. There's a reason why hip hop took off in the way it did.
Yeah.
Because of the creativity that was coming along in that golden era. Really, what you rhyme or what your production is in the golden era of hip hop. Really, because that's the best artists where even if they were talking about street shit, they were getting played on mainstream radio. Like Nas, he's talking about the projects. He's not talking in the Wu-Tang. They're talking about the projects. They're not talking about, buy a Beamer. They're talking about some real shit. And that was a real golden era of hip hop. And to try to keep that alive through your music now, that's a challenge. Yeah. Is it a difficult one?
Yeah, it's been difficult, but like once the new waves start like appearing, because at one time it was more underground hip hop in Mexico popping,
Right.
So once everything started changing, I was like, I couldn't keep up as much, like I didn't want to, like that's not my shit. Like I like trap music, but I wasn't gonna do the whole thing, change my whole style and everything. So I always felt like I have to carry the torch, the lyricism torch and everything, because
that's cool.
That's the way I was taught, and the music I listen to, that's how I like it. So it's like I see myself like if I was a guitar player, I will just try to be good at it, and just the best at it, and that's how I try to do it with lyrics.
The way I look at it is one time I was in San Francisco and I was gonna have dinner, and I went to this restaurant that had a jazz band playing. But they were dope. You could tell that back in the day when jazz was what it was, that they would be playing a big hall. But they always had it was a nice place, You'll always find a place to play, a good stage to rock when you're dedicated to that type of artistry. Golden era hip hop, man, that's not easy to. I like to consider myself El Vuh and what I continue to do in that era, because it's about consciousness. It's about expanding and growing within that. But when skills you get to a point where it's like, oh, can they get better at skills? You know, writing lyrics or certain flows, and you go, yeah, because you see other homies that just fucking, like you're talking the homie Asesino, right? How he's evolved in the freestyle battle rap. So that's crazy.
So this podcast kind of revolves around indigenous hip hop artists, right? Eptos, you know, cats that speak on indigenous native issues. Like, is there a pocket of MCs in Mexico that are all about that, like in that genre of like quote unquote indigenous hip hop, like how Zero says, like Zero El Vuh, you know, me growing up, it was always in the indigenous hip hop genre.
Yeah, there is, bro. There's a lot of artists. I perform with them, and I've been in several like parties where they perform, and they're from Oaxaca. There's guys that do it from all over the place. That they try to do it, but with con el idioma nativo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's a challenge.
Wow, that's different.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
Zero?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. You know who I like from there, and they're maybe not a traditional like drum machine type of rap, but Rap de Luz. I like Rap de Luz from Mexico City. They're dope as fuck. They're really dope. I'm not sure if you know about them, but they're like a performance art kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know? Yeah.
I have to check them out.
Yeah, dude, Rap de Luz is the shit. They're fucking dope. They have a lot of topics like about zapatismo and more about grassroots organizing and obviously whatever. Mexico's always protesting.
Yeah.
Always. It's never a time where you're gonna go to Mexico and they're not gonna fucking protest, because they fucking protest almost every day of the year there.
Yes. Yeah, bro. There's a lot of march.
Yeah, dude. And you were telling me about one. Talk about that, the recent one about cannabis.
Oh yeah, well they just legalized it supposedly, but they're just letting people have an ounce. But you know how police is corrupt over there, so that's not a good measure. People think, you know, because they're gonna be like, oh, you have 1 gram over there, or we'll put you on or whatever, and we'll throw you in. So people want to be able to carry whatever they have to carry, and just to have as many plants as they want.
Yeah.
So there's thousands of people that's gathering up in the main streets, going to the Zócalo, just smoking weed right now.
Nice. Yeah. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
That, you know, the protests in Mexico are fucking dope. They're behind that cause, whatever it is. When I went to film Ciudad Celestial, they had, I guess the police murdered somebody, and they were out there fucking, you know, what the fuck, you know, this fucking guy, whatever. But I could see that 420 wave coming over Mexico, and that would be a different experience to go to Mexico with
big.
that.
They do the expo weed over there, like a big ass, ¿cómo se dice? Like a expo con.
No way.
That shit's big, bro. It's like,
when does that happen?
Every year.
Every year?
It's 4 stories. There's a lot of vendors. People are right there selling like their stuff. You know?
Wow. That's crazy. I never heard about that.
We need to pull up on that.
Definitely need to get on that one for sure.
Yeah, that weed is getting big over there.
That's sweet.
Well, yeah, you know, this is what this podcast is all about, you know, and it's that's the foundation, you know, especially with Zero's work and its history in the music industry, right? That's why releasing this exclusive mixtape on our website was so vital, right, Zero?
Yeah.
For our audience.
Like what we're trying to create over here, Eptos, is that almost that NFT style thing where you can only get it from us. You know, this type of knowledge, this type of art, it's really locked down. We own all the masters. There's no involvement with anything other than that's what Armando's conversation was. It's like, what, you own all the masters? Yeah, I own all the masters. I fucking made it. That's what I invested in, right? And so now to release it even though it's on a small scale, that small scale is 3 or 4 times more, right? Even if I sold like I sold 5 CDs, but to get $100 from CD Baby would take me fucking 4 months, something like that. You know, now I made that in 2 days. So it's really about Do you feel like that's where you're taking your art, where in an exclusivity, kind of like an Eptos camp?
Definitely, I see it like I'm building my own way and just going my way, you know, and just getting my clients and getting my fans together, you know, people that buys my clothes, just keep supplying them, people that want to support my art through that way. But yeah, and that's how I see it.
Like, is it extending to like putting shows together or just providing merchandise and then?
Yeah, putting shows together too, and I also have a battle rap league over there, like called Spit MX. So I do like an event once a year. I invest money in that and just bring battlers from all over to battle and shit.
Right on. Yeah, how many attended that battle?
More than 1,000.
That's dope.
The last one.
I've
been doing it for 4 years.
That's cool. And it gets bigger, obviously, every year.
Yeah, it gets bigger and bigger. Yeah, I'm doing that and just try to do hip hop stuff, you know, stuff that I like and revolve around that, make money around that.
Are you touring?
Yeah, not right now. I'm preparing to tour like by the end of the year once I drop my album. Yeah.
Where are you starting in Mexico or are you coming to the States?
Yeah, I'm starting in Mexico, but I'm looking forward to come to the States like I don't know, around Halloween, around those.
All right. Yeah. Cool. Right on. Armando. I'm sure Armando's going to be involved with that one.
Yeah, man. You know, we try to put Eptos on as many stages as we can.
He's dope.
Whenever he's available, you know, we try to squeeze him in wherever we can. You know, he was fortunate enough to travel with us to support Griselda in 2 events, the one in LA and in Oakland.
Oh, right on.
That was pretty dope.
Yeah, that was pretty dope. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
But yeah, you know, it's such an honor and privilege to have you on Eptos, you know, especially you're in town. Super last minute invite, but it was definitely hand and glove fit, right, Zero?
Yeah, absolutely. What you came to LA for? Are you doing some video stuff or?
Oh no, I have family out here.
Oh, you're just visiting. Yeah. Right on. That's cool. Hey, how is it in Mexico with all this silliness and stuff, the whole pandemic thing? And
well, it's been hard for people because a lot of people lost their job, and it was a hit, bro. But it's coming back up. You know, like people are starting to work again. Like they're already getting vaccinated, so it's moving forward.
Okay. Right on. And is that what they're requiring to get work going? Like, to go back to work, you need to get vaccinated and shit?
Oh, nah.
No? All right.
Not really.
Hope so. Because it's a crazy motherfucking thing, dude. Dude, it's like, even just talking about it.
Supposedly, to walk into the new Amazon store, you're going to have to be vaccinated.
Oh, fuck it. They could keep that store, dude. Dude, look, it tells, look, here's the most explanation about that fucking vaccine. It says, as it penetrates your blood cells, nanotechnology bypasses the response of the cell. That's a crazy shit to do through synthetic form. You know, that's So yeah, I'm not a fan. I don't mind if people get it. If you want to do that, it's all good. But you know, in this show, we tell the truth. And this is the truth. They said it, not me. As it penetrates the cell to bypass the biological reaction of that blood cell, is nanotechnology that bypasses the cell. You know what nanotechnology is? That's tiny particles of metal that respond to electricity. It's not a robot. It's tiny particles of metal that respond to electricity. So as the cell starts to defend itself, those particles get in the way of the cell response, tiny particles of electricity, and it says, it's all good. And so it lets it in the cell, and then it starts to reproduce, right? And then you get tiny little coronas, right? But in reality, your cell is bypassing its response. So it's killing off everything because it's bypassing that response through nanotechnology.
That's nuts.
That's how it works, bro. That's what you're getting. And that's not no conspiracy theory. That's straight off of the fucking person who was explaining how this vaccine works. You can tell, even the scientists.
Oh, by the way, Bill Gates is getting a divorce. Hear about this?
The end of the world is coming soon, my friend.
That's when you know all the money in the world.
You know why?
She's getting half.
You know why she's
getting half
divorcing him?
the
She's all,
billions.
you're not gonna fucking take me down with you, motherfucker. You're fucking up a bunch of shit. Oh, so I have the album cover of Global Pandemic. It's gonna be a globe on fire, and I'm gonna be putting it out with the syringe. On the syringe is gonna be a Microsoft logo, a Derma's logo, all that. So I'm gonna be putting out the fire with 2 syringes. With Microsoft logo, with Derma. This is truth. I'm not making anything up, right? This isn't a global conspiracy. I'm telling you what's happening, right? Because I just asked you, do you need to get vaccinated to get back to work? You're all, nah, not over there. That's right. That's what I love about Mexico. No matter what anybody says about Mexico, it's never really been conquered. People won't let it be conquered. They'll find a way to be Mexican or native or whatever you want. They'll sell fucking quesadillas in the street to hold their autonomy. That's what I love about Mexico. That's what runs in our blood.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah. So the fight goes on. Be healthy, man. It's the most holistic place on earth. It has the most medicinal herbs in the marquetas de Mexico. I can imagine. There's an abuelita there that knows about everything, every single ailment that the human suffers from, and she knows where to point you to in terms of an herb that will heal you.
Yeah, there is, bro. There's a lot of herbal medicine over there in the mercados.
Yeah, I can imagine like what it. That was the beauty of going to Mexico, is those mercados, and sitting down and eating there and talking to the herb person and all that stuff. It's just the smell of it. It's just amazing. So you live right in the mero Ciudad de Mexico, right?
Yeah.
That's dope. How long? 10 years, huh? Do you have your home studio there, your pre-production suite?
Yeah, I do.
Nice.
That's where I just, samples, do my ideas, record like vocals and stuff.
Nice. How's the nightlife there? What's it like there when you go out or whatever?
Well, it's pretty cool. There's a lot of bars, there's everything you can think of. Like if you like jazz, if you like corridos, if you like whatever you want to go, there's a place like for you.
That's the one thing I noticed about Mexico.
You're God, let's say you're gothic. You think you're a vampire. There's a place for you. It's for everybody, bro.
Absolutely.
That's what I like about it. You can always get a new experience.
Yeah. That was the one thing I wanted you to clarify, is that it's that type of experience. I remember one time when we went there touring, one time me and Eric, and he looks at me, he's all, Mexico's 500 years old. It's not a 100-year-old city. It's not 80-year-old city. It's not like Chicago, even Los Angeles about 90 years old, 100 maybe. Mexico's 500 years old. It's an old city. It's a really old city, so different things happen there. Different kind of cultures evolve. Like you said, there's a place for everyone there. I mean, there's people there that I remember the tour manager was like, oh, wow, Duran's playing. I was like, Duran, like, fuck, I haven't heard Duran on this side of the border since like fucking 88. But over there, they're still a hit band. They could still play a big room and a big auditorium. That's Mexico.
Definitely.
That's Mexico. It's like respectful of art and music, and it doesn't ever go out of style, kind of like it kind of just people just keep moving with it, I guess,
Yeah, they keep playing it on the radio. Duran, like they will play it like
when was the last time you heard Duran, Armando?
Wow, that's on Arrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Arrow 92.3.
I mean, but it's not like on K-Rock and, over there it's like different. It's just different. It's a cool experience. So all those brothers, sisters that haven't been there yet, that needs to be the homage, the Mecca. You need to go experience Mexico City for what it is.
I'm actually planning on living out there for a few years, Zero. I'm really considering it, like right in the heart of Mexico City.
And you have Eptos there.
Getting a nice little condo there.
Yeah. If you have Eptos there, I really recommend it.
I got you, Eptos.
Because you definitely need to know how to navigate that city. Because if you don't, it will take you.
There's a booming hip hop community out there, and Eptos is in the forefront of it. He's one of the leaders of it.
what I like about Mexico City is that when they say there's a underground hip hop scene, it's thousands of them. It's not just a couple hundred come together every. You know what I mean? It's like thousands of them. It's like a fucking line out the door. I can imagine your shows. You know, it's like over here, it's kind of hard to muster up that kind of excitement for people. Maybe because they have other outlets, movies, beaches, whatever. You know, over there it's like I got work and I got this concert. You know,
there's not a lot of opportunities for people to go. There's not a lot of shows like that. You know, there is a lot of little shows, but not a lot of experiences like that, like a big show. So people like they don't miss out on that. You know?
Exactly,
it's very valued.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm sure exactly a lot of your crowd is younger cats, right? Like kids in high school, 20, mid-20s, right? Yeah. It's love, man.
Do you know of any LA artists that are hitting in Mexico? Maybe that you know?
From LA, well,
like someone at your level. You know, you have a record deal. You have, you know, certain experience.
I know a lot of the guys that do like the new style of corrido, trap, and all that.
Oh, okay. They come from here, and they're pretty big out there. Yeah. That's kind of a new movement, huh?
That's
How do you
dope.
feel about that movement?
Corrido trap. That's
corrido tumbado.
That's right.
That's cool. I like a couple of songs, but I don't know. Like it's crazy. I just trip out on how they combined it, but it's pretty cool though. Like it's working for them. That stuff is getting big.
I heard that corrido trap. Not heard it, but I heard the talk about it. Like 12 years ago, and I was like, "You're tripping." I was telling my manager, we were having a conversation. He's like, "Dude, the next big thing is gonna be corridos," and I was like, "You're tripping, dude. Kids are not gonna fucking wanna be corridos." But then I saw the way they dressed, because when I thought of it, it was like, "Oh, they're gonna wear what? They're gonna wear gorros and big belts and." You know, fucking boots or what? That's going to be the next trend in Los Angeles. And he's all, mark my words. The next big acts are going to be corridos. And then I saw them. I was like, what the fuck? He was fucking right. Because they changed their dress. They don't dress with, you know, the bucket hats and the boots and anymore. It's more about like Supreme sweatshirts, you know what? $100,000 chains and singing this Mexican folk music. Wow. I want to know what your opinion is about that, how it grew and how do you see it?
Yeah, I see it like, well, it's dope that they're getting money, you know, and they have the opportunity to do it. And it's for a whole different generation than mine. There's for the younger dudes, you know, so it's pretty dope. I can relate to some things they say, but me myself, I like corridos, the old school ones.
That's right.
Yeah.
But also like some trap songs too. Like I listen to everything that's a banger. You know,
yeah.
If it's dope, I can appreciate it. But yeah, that's dope. You know, the corrido guys are just putting Mexico up there.
Yeah, it's just interesting to see the evolution of it. Because I was telling them, dude, I don't see kids wearing boots but it wasn't that. He wasn't telling me that. He just knew that corridos were going to be the next biggest signed acts. Yeah. You know what he told me was the next one? And he was spot on. He's always spot on. After that, it's going to be bilingual hip hop. It's going to be hip hop that you can rap like you're in the 4 bars of Spanish flow to 8 of English. Or 2 lines of English back to Spanish. That Spanish flow that could go 8, 2, 3, you know, however it is. He's all, that's going to be the next mega fucking, you know.
So next week, guys, well, this Sunday, very special guest, right?
Natani.
Yeah,
Natani's dope.
That's going to be an amazing segment, guys. We got Zero of El Vuh. Got the one and only Eptos, the legend himself, here in the building. What a podcast episode, right, Zero?
Absolutely, bro. Thank you for coming through.
Well, thank you guys for inviting me. Thanks to everyone at home that watched it.
Anyone who is an LA Natives supporter, go listen to Eptos. Eptos. He is really skilled, puts quality productions, and I played a show with him here at the Lexington, and that was fire. He's a great performer as well. I mean, it's cool to meet somebody who has evolved into what, you seem very well put together and very focused on your projects. That's not easy to do. But I give it up to you, man.
Thank you, Eptos.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you for coming by, guys.
It means a lot coming from you, bro. Like you being in the game, you know what you're talking about, and I respect your movement too and what you're doing for the culture, the Hispanic culture and Mexicanos.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, we're just trying, and knowing that this show, although it started small, is trying to reach across borders. And we're trying to bring the influential individuals that we feel are doing things in a professional manner. It doesn't have to revolve around our culture. It just has to know, Eptos just has to know that I'm your brother. I'm your brother, carnal. You have a brother right here in Los Angeles. You'll always have a place to stay, food to eat. And that's the kind of culture we're trying to make here in LA Natives.
All right, thank you, bro. I appreciate it. Same.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. This Sunday, Natani, 4 p.m.
Absolutely.
Make sure you guys tune in. Thank you again, Eptos.
Thank you, Mando.
I hope.